Good morning and welcome to today's Veterans Day ceremony. It is our honor as Student Council to welcome you to our virtual ceremony, and we thank you all for taking time to view this. Today we gather to remember, to honor, and to thank those who have served our country. Although we can't celebrate this day as traditionally as we'd like, it is our duty and responsibility to pay our respects to the men and women of the past and present who sacrificed so much so that we can enjoy our American citizenship. Today we will celebrate Veterans Day with Bureau Valley's band and choir, as well as some reading selections from Mr. Trone's speech class.
Today I'd like to share with you my poem called Unity, the Power of We. Coming together to form a whole, working towards a common goal. People of every religion and skin color, there's nothing we can't do if we have each other. There's power in numbers, or so they say. When working together, there's always a way. Never give up and never give in. With the group at your side, fight through the din. Friends, family, and community, coming together in perfect unity. Many brave people becoming one, working to get a job done. Military persons unify for us all. Without their teamwork, everything would fall. Together we come and together we fight. We can do anything if we just unite.
Hi, my name is Adam Johnson, and I would like to share a story on my Grandpa Blue. My great-grandfather, William E. Greathouse, or as I knew him, Grandpa Blue, served in the United States Army during World War II. He was born on January 8, 1920, in Brown County, Indiana. He was the second oldest of 7 children, parented by a single mother. Since he was nearly the oldest in the house, he had a great amount of responsibility for taking care of his younger siblings. At the age of 9, during the Great Depression, he and the rest of his family moved to Illinois seeking work. At the age of 17, he dropped out of school to work for the Civilian Conservation Corps in Wisconsin, so that he could make money for his family. When he got home from working in Wisconsin, he decided to enlist in the military. He enlisted on June 21st, 1940, and was sent to camp just a week later in California. At the time of his enlistment, he had not known that the war would be starting. Then, on December 7, 1941, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. And soon after this, he was sent from California to the Aleutian Islands west of Alaska. He was stationed in the island of Attu, which is one of the many islands that make up the Aleutian Islands. The island served as a first line of defense against Japanese invasion to the northwestern United States. He served there during the entirety of the war. He fought in many battles during World War II. One of the most notable, however, was the Battle of Attu. The Battle of Attu was one of the bloodiest battles in the Pacific during World War II. He was a part of a platoon in the 32nd Infantry, and during the battle his platoon leader was injured. Following this, he was immediately promoted to acting platoon leader. He was the acting leader of his platoon for 19 days. During the final assault on the last Japanese stronghold on Attu, he was grazed in the scalp, for which he would later receive the Purple Heart. He would also serve as his platoon leaders later during the Battle of Kwajalein. In 1946, he was honorably discharged from the military. During his military service, he was awarded with the Purple Heart, a Good Conduct Medal, and with the Asiatic Pacific Theater Ribbon with 2 Bronze Stars. He also remained in the reserves for several years following the end of his service. After being discharged from the war, he came back home to Illinois, where he met my great-grandmother, Marjorie Greathouse. Not long after this, they got married on August 24, 1947. Together they had 4 children, Bill, Frank, Jeff, and my grandma Cindy. My Grandpa Blue was very proud of his military service. During his life after his service, he was part of the American Legion and the VFW in Granville. He was always in the color guard during Memorial Day, and towards the end of his life, he even attended the Bureau Valley Veterans Day Assembly whenever he could. He died on January 17, 2006 at 86 years old. Although I never really knew my great-grandfather, I know how proud and honored he was to have been able to say he fought for our country. My Grandpa Blue's story is just one of so many different stories of our nation's veterans. Hopefully his story invites you to think of and remember a veteran of your own and all they have done for us and our country. Thank you.
On this day, for one brief moment, hear the silence fill the air. Think of those who walk beside us, now no longer there. Don't cry, but hear their laughter, for their spirit lives inside. Let the mystic streams of memory fill our hearts with pride. Make us humble, make us knowing, and accepting what is done. On this day, for now, forever, make this nation one. On this day, for all the fallen, make this nation on this day, for all the
Hi, my name is Mia Hernandez, and this is my poem, Sacrifice Together. Sacrifice is a funny thing. You give your life just to cling to those you truly love. Sacrifice is a wretched thing. It's when you put everyone else above. Sacrifice goes hand in hand with sadness. It spares no one, not even the selfless. Sacrifice means caring for all, the special people you can recall. Not everyone will agree with you, but sacrifice means to push through. Loving others who believe in you not, who wouldn't even give you a thought. Sacrifice is a funny thing. Sacrifice is no different in a group, a family of fearless people willing to give up their lives for their troop, and a nation of unknowns. Big hearts, brave minds, so much more than kind. Sacrifice is a funny thing. Going into the shadows, no one quite knows the next move. We've heard of what you went through, although we may not understand the depths of your sacrifice and the pain you had to face. It may have been frightening, but you still kept up the fight because our flag was in your sight. Sacrifice is a funny thing. Most of our lives are spent thinking of ourselves, our dollar and cent, valuing money, only thinking of our pay, focusing on tomorrow instead of living for today. But you who love our country dedicate all you have to us, never having to discuss the loyalty you hold in your hearts. Sacrifice is a funny thing. army isn't made up of just one person. Battles are impossible with only one soldier. In order to win, we have to work together. If I asked a number of veterans about their sacrifice, I could bet that everyone would mention at least one person who sacrificed more than they did. It wouldn't matter how much sacrifice they made, they would always find someone who they think gave more than they did. That's one of the amazing things about veterans. They're all humble enough to give credit to someone other than themselves. Every veteran deserves a high level of respect and honor. Most soldiers have scars or long-term issues and some don't. Still, just the fact that they were willing to fight for our country is praiseworthy. One image of a veteran I get in my head is a strong soldier walking with another brave soldier who is holding up the other. The other man with the injured leg is the eyes of the pair. The other is the stabilizer. Without the other, these two soldiers wouldn't get to safety. They need each other because both of them have been hurt. Both sacrificed their well-being so we could live in freedom. Both soldiers would say, "I couldn't do it without him," as they pointed at each other. Now, I see a woman holding a young child in her arms with another one on the way. Tears are finding their way down her cheeks. She is thinking of her husband who is out on the battlefield. She is scared for him and his comrades. She is also scared for the future of her two children. She isn't thinking of herself. Hundreds, if not thousands of miles away is a man. Battered with the marks of war, he catches a break behind a boulder. His mind goes to his sweetheart and their children. He doesn't think about the bandage on his throbbing wrist, doesn't think about his life, his sacrifice. Instead, he thinks about his wife. Her sacrifice emotionally. She goes through days of worrying about him. She works so hard to make him proud when he gets home. Neither think of themselves. They think of one another lovingly and selflessly. Both are heroes because they both sacrifice in different ways just so our country can stay safe and free. True heroes sacrifice together. Thank you to every veteran and their families. You are truly heroes.